At my sister's baby shower, Mom laughed. You'll never give me grandkids anyway. The laughter started before I even realized the joke was about me. I was standing near the kitchen counter at my sister. Ilara's baby shower, holding a glass of sparkling water while everyone gathered around her. The room was decorated with pale blue balloons, tiny baby shoes, and photographs of Ilara and her husband, Noah, from their first year together. Everyone looked happy. Everyone except me. My mother, Maribel, was sitting on the sofa beside my older brother, Dorian. She was showing him pictures from Ilara's pregnancy. When someone asked the question, I had learned to hate. So Caleb, when are we getting a baby from you? I smiled politely. I don't know. Whenever life decides I'm ready. My mother laughed. Oh, please, Caleb will never have children. The room became strangely quiet. I looked at her. She continued laughing as if she had made the funniest joke in the world. You'll never give me grandkids anyway. She said you're too selfish to be a father. Dorian laughed under his breath. He's too busy living his perfect little life. I felt something inside me crack. Nobody knew how much I had sacrificed for that perfect little life. 3 years earlier, our father had passed away unexpectedly. After his death, my mother struggled financially. Dorian had just started his own business and claimed he couldn't help. Ilara was newly married and dealing with her own expenses. So I stepped in. I paid several of my mother's bills. I repaired the roof. I helped cover Dorian's business loan when his company nearly collapsed. When Ilara and Noah were saving for their wedding, I quietly paid for part of the venue. I never complained. I never asked them to repay me. I thought family helped family, but apparently my help had become an expectation. At the baby shower, I looked around the room. Everyone was smiling. Nobody defended me. My mother leaned toward Dorian and whispered loudly enough for me to hear. Some people are just born to take care of themselves. I put my glass down. Excuse me. My mother looked at me. Where are you going? Home? She rolled her eyes. Oh, don't be dramatic. I didn't answer. I walked out. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. The family group chat was full of notifications. Dorian mortgage payment is due Friday. Where's your share? I stared at the message. Then another appeared. Mom, don't start acting childish. We are family. I typed. What mortgage? Dorian replied immediately. The house. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I did know. For years, I had been contributing money toward the house because my mother said she couldn't manage the payments alone. But there was something I had never told them. 6 months earlier, I had stopped sending money. Not because I was angry, because I had discovered that my mother had secretly transferred part of the house into Dorian's name. I had been paying for a home that I apparently wasn't even considered part of. I opened the family chat and typed, asked the future owner of the house. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, my mother wrote, What are you talking about? I replied, I'm talking about the property documents. Silence. Then Dorian called me. I didn't answer. He called again. I rejected it. A few minutes later, another message appeared. Dorian, you are seriously going to destroy this family over paperwork? I laughed quietly. Destroy the family? I hadn't destroyed anything. I had simply stopped holding everything together. I muted the group chat. For the first time in years, I felt strangely peaceful, but I knew they weren't going to let me walk away that easily. And I was right, because the following evening, my mother showed up at my apartment. She stood outside my door with tears in her eyes. Caleb, how could you do this to us? I looked at her. I didn't do anything. You're abandoning your family. No, I said quietly. I'm finally refusing to abandon myself. Her expression changed, and for the first time I realized something. My family didn't miss me. They missed what I provided. My mother stared at me as if I had become a stranger. You've changed, she whispered. I had to... She wiped her tears. Your brother needs help. So do I? You're his brother, and you're my mother. She looked away. For years, those words had been enough to make me feel guilty. Not anymore. I stepped aside and let her enter. She sat on the couch. Dorian made mistakes, she said, but he's family. I know. He needs another chance. His head doesn't. She became quiet. Then she pulled an envelope from her purse. Your father left this. I froze. My father had died 3 years earlier. I had never heard about an envelope. I opened it. Inside was a handwritten letter. Caleb, if you're reading this, I'm probably gone. I know you. You'll probably try to take care of everyone. Please don't confuse love with responsibility. Your mother, Dorian, and Ilara are adults. They must build their own lives. You deserve a family that loves you even when you have nothing to give. I read the letter twice. My eyes filled with tears. My father had understood me better than anyone. Then I noticed another document inside the envelope. It was a copy of the original house agreement. My name was listed, so was my father's. And there was no transfer to Dorian. I looked at my mother. Why did you tell me the house belonged to Dorian? She didn't answer. Mom, she finally whispered, because Dorian needed security, and I didn't. You were always strong. That sentence hurt more than anything, because apparently being strong meant nobody thought I deserved protection. The next morning, I hired a lawyer. I didn't want the house. I didn't want my family's money. I only wanted the truth. The investigation revealed that my mother had indeed transferred part of the property to Dorian without telling me. When Dorian found out, I had discovered everything. He came to my apartment furious. You're taking legal action against your own family. No, in protecting what Dad left behind. You're selfish. I looked directly at him. Maybe he stopped. I continued. But at least now I'm selfish with my own life. He had nothing to say. Weeks passed. The family became divided. Elara stopped speaking to me at first. Then one evening she called. Caleb. Yeah. I need to apologize. I didn't say anything. She continued. At the baby shower I saw what Mom did. I should have said something. You were celebrating. That doesn't excuse it. She took a breath. I also found out how much you've done for everyone. I smiled sadly. You didn't know? No. She began crying. I thought you were just financially comfortable. I looked out the window. I was comfortable because I worked for it. I know. There was a long silence. Then she said something I never expected. You're going to be a great father someday. I laughed softly. Maybe. Do you still want children? I thought about my mother's words. You'll never give me grandkids anyway. I don't know, I said. But if I ever have children, I want them to grow up knowing that love isn't a debt. Elara cried again. Months later, the property issue was resolved. Dorian had to return what wasn't legally his. My mother apologized, though it took her a long time to understand why her apology wasn't enough to instantly repair everything. I didn't cut my family off completely. I simply changed the rules. No more secret payments. No more guilt. No more being treated like the family's emergency bank account. And most importantly, no more proving that I deserved to belong. A year later, Elara gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She invited me to the hospital. When I held my niece for the first time, I felt something unexpected. Peace. My mother stood beside me. She looked at the baby and then at me. You know, she said softly, I was wrong. I smiled. Yes, you were. She laughed through her tears. Maybe someday you'll give me a grandchild after all. I looked down at the baby in my arms. Maybe. Then I added, but if I ever become a father, Mom, it won't be because you wanted a grandchild. She nodded. It'll be because I want to build a family where nobody has to earn love, I said. My mother hugged me, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like the son who had to save everyone. I just felt like her son, and somehow that was enough.